Everyone, and happy Monday. I hope you've all had an amazing weekend and you are looking forward to the week ahead. So, welcome to week 12. We are now entering into the last leg of the course. It's hard to believe that we are already into the month of May, but alas, here we are, and this is just how it goes. So, we are moving forward in our unit 2, and this week we're going to be talking about some pretty awesome content. It ties to motivation. And generally, I find students really like this content because it's very, very relatable. So here's our preamble for today. What I wanted to acknowledge. I'll just read it actually because there's some good stuff here. So this week we're diving into what motivates us, and we will dive back into our blogs. It's pretty amazing content and stuff you will undoubtedly relate to. You'll have 2 blog entries based on lesson content, TED Talk videos, online quizzes, and readings. You have to do all the work to be successful with your blog entries. When you're done writing both blog entries, republish your blog. Each lesson class discussion requires you to watch some TED Talks and read through some articles, so be sure you really go through this content. It's going to be extremely useful when we spend our whole week next week working on our interview assignment. On that note, do you have an adult in your life that you could interview? Someone who works a full-time job, earns a salary, and supports themselves or a family. Start thinking about who you would like to interview, as this will be your focus next week. So you'll be doing an interview project. I mentioned this in our planning assignment from last week. You want to choose someone different from that assignment, someone in your life, like maybe a coach, a dance instructor, a teacher, a boss, someone that you've worked with, or someone in your life, even in your family, like an aunt or an uncle that holds professional designation and they work in a professional environment that you could really learn from. Okay, so more on that later, but just so you can start thinking about that. So for this week, you're going to start on Monday with a reading on a motivational reading. So reading on motivation with some guided questions. This is badge activity number 5. If you go into Dropbox, you'll see that there under Unit 2 assessments. I actually just sat in on an amazing workshop the other day by Lang School of Business, the University of Guelph, and it was so informative. And the program is unbelievable. It sounds fantastic. But they also talked about the transition between high school and university. And what they're finding is that a lot of students aren't prepared. And one of the things they said specifically that students are really struggling with is the fact that they have to do hundreds of pages of textbooks readings every single week. And they're saying like students have no experience doing readings. So I know that maybe these readings are not as illuminating as some other assignments, but just think of it as an opportunity, especially if you're in the university pathway and you plan to go to university next year, that like you're going to have readings like this all the time. So this is a great opportunity to learn how to take notes from a reading, to determine what is the most important information from that reading, and then also just making sure that you're taking those good course notes so that when it comes time to apply that content to an assessment of some kind or a unit test, you have that already done, right? So you've got your guided question sheet, and that's your badge activity number 6. Sorry, 5. And then the rest of the week you're spending on blog post number 6 and blog entry number 7. All of the content is here for your blog entries, but you basically have to go through the psychology of motivation TED Talk. So making sure that you are really paying close attention to that TED Talk and taking notes in your notes as well for Unit 2. And then you're going to answer the following questions in your blog. So again, what I really want to see in your blogs at this point is that you're making direct connections to your own personal experiences, to the TED Talk, and to all of the learning that we've done so far this semester. So tying in those those management strategies, tying in the learning that we did on planning and decision making, tying in that content and curriculum, showing me that you're doing the work. And then on Wednesday, you have a lesson on individual behavior. So you're going to go through that lesson content, and then you're going to take 3 online quizzes just to learn a little bit more about your personality and how that might manifest within a working environment. And then you're going to go through the questions here that will have you reflect on that. Okay. When you're done both of those both of those blog entries, republish your blog. I've had students say, where do I send the link to my blog? Well, you've already submit the link to your blog to me in Unit 1 when you had to submit the link to your blog for your first blog assessment. I already have the link. So as long as you're republishing them, I should see 7 blog entries and that About Me section, and then you're up to date, okay? And then you have work periods for the rest of the week just to finish all of that up, okay? So again, you've got your badge activity, reading on motivation. Make sure that you're tying the knowledge from that reading, so those motivational strategies and theories, tying that into your blog entries this week. I really want to see that specific clear connection between the TED Talks, as well as the personality testing, the reading on motivation, as well as the readings that you've done in other areas like planning, decision making, etc., and tie all of that content together in your answers, in your blog entries. Republish your blog when you're done. Make sure you do that participation activity to ensure that you have that attendance tick box, right? And submit everything by Monday morning at 8 a.m. as always. If you have any questions throughout the week, you know where to find me. Send me an email, and otherwise, I will see you online.